Good morning. You can do better than that. Good morning. Very good. We have much work to do. We need the enthusiasm. So good morning. There we go. President Higgins, thank you for opening this conference for us, to my fellow speakers and colleagues, and to all the distinguished guests here today. Thank you for giving me and WFP this opportunity to greet you this morning. As the first speaker from this podium who does not originate from this Emerald Isle, and as the head of one of the organizing partners for this event, I want to begin by expressing my sincere thanks to the Government of Ireland and to the Mary Robinson Foundation for Climate Justice for their hard work and determination in bringing us all together for this conversation over the next 2 days. And over these 2 days, we will speak a lot about partnerships. And it's often said that partnerships begin at home. From the engagement and the enthusiasm of the United Nations World Food Program staff that are here with me today, representing over 12,000 WFP workers in 80 countries, I know that our partnership with the Irish people in the global pursuit of a just society with food and nutrition for all has put down some mighty, mighty roots. And those roots will grow into this conversation and the outcomes of the conversation over the next 2 days. Most importantly, I want to join others who have spoken before me to express my appreciation and a warm welcome to the over 100 women and men from civil society and national organizations participating in this landmark event. Many of you are already working closely with WFP in your home countries, and others, we look forward to getting to know you better through these essential discussions going forward. And these discussions are essential because we must listen to and connect with local voices. We must ensure the voices of the poorest and the most marginalized people are not just heard, but also listened to and included in the dialogue and the outcomes. Because participatory, community-based planning is our best hope for managing the uncertainties of the future and constructing a pathway to a food secure, climate just, hunger-free, equitable world. But there can be no justice if people are allowed to go hungry or children to become malnourished. No justice at all if 1/3 of humanity is condemned to never achieve their full potential because we failed to provide pregnant and lactating women and their young children with nourishing food during the first 1,000 days. There will be no justice if we fail our responsibility to properly manage the world's resources in the face of a volatile and changing climate. We recognize these linkages between justice, powerlessness, and food insecurity all the time. In 2012, WFP delivered food assistance to over 90 million people who, in a world of abundance, still do not have enough food to eat. Why? Because in the places where we work, as President Higgins stated, food is available in the market, but poor families simply lack sufficient purchasing power to afford it. This is despite the fact that most of these families spend more than 70% of their income on food. And for some families, food is not available at any price, either because of conflicts that disrupt markets or weather-related disasters that are the result of the changing climate affecting so many of the communities, particularly those in sub-Saharan Africa, that depend upon rainfall for their harvest, and that rainfall does not come, and it destroys farmland and limits road access and makes markets unavailable. During these sessions, over the next 2 days, we will have the opportunity to review and discuss many forward-leading and practical solutions to addressing the combined challenges of hunger, nutrition, and climate change. These stories have an essential role in highlighting where we are getting things right. It is our responsibility to not only hear the stories, but we must also take the lessons to the next level, scaling up the best and most effective ideas until we have reached everyone and reached the goal of a just, equitable, and hunger-free world. 1 year ago, when I took up the role as head of WFP, each daily briefing brought fresh and more disturbing details of the tragedy unfolding across Africa's Sahel region. So in my first month, I traveled to Niger to witness firsthand the consequences of that complex crisis. The consequences, another failed harvest. The third in less than 10 years because of failed rains, have brought food shortages and high prices. These stresses were compounded by the loss of jobs in Libya, which meant no remittances for women and children left at home alone. But the people I met in the local community inspired me with their determination in the face of imminent hunger. Working together were humanitarian aid workers, community leaders, government leaders, children, men, and women. Children staying in school because of increased school feeding programs. Women succeeding against odds because of cash for work and food for work programs allowed them to feed their families. Communities working together as a part of the Food for Assets programs, giving their all to assemble water-conserving dams from rocks and sand so that they could build vegetable gardens between the planting, last year's harvest and this year's planting seasons. That would mean this year they didn't need to deplete their assets. Humanitarian workers working with community leaders and community organizers to distribute nutritious food to pregnant and lactating mothers and children under 2. All orchestrated by a national government with a plan. Turning commitment into action requires this type of strong national leadership and political will to put in place policies for the benefit of the most vulnerable citizens. But as Niger's example illustrates, success also requires engagement of people at the community level to drive bottom-up processes and raise local action toward fulfilling national plans for empowerment and hunger eradication. People must be part of their own destinies. So in addition to the power of local community level action, at the conference recently concluded in Madrid on hunger and food security and nutrition in the post-2015 framework, we heard again that women, as we were reminded by Mary Robinson again today, are the secret weapon against hunger, the ultimate force multiplier in the fight against malnutrition. When women have food, children eat. When women are helped to grow food, communities eat. And when women are decision makers, nations have food and nutrition security. And I fully agree with this position, and I know you do too. I'm sure that that's not enough, because agreeing amongst each other that communities must be empowered, that their voices must be heard, that women must be empowered is not enough. Let the outcome of this conference be clearly heard, not just here, but around the world. Let our voices help the world to recognize that a post-2015 agenda must prioritize food and nutrition security. Let our voices help the world embrace the empowerment of women and local communities as essential pillars for achieving any post-2015 global agenda. Let our voices create the public will that leads to justice, equity, and opportunity, particularly for those who depend on us most because they suffer the most: the poor, the malnourished children, and their hungry mothers. In this room, we have the means and the power to make the difference, and shame on us if we don't. Thank you.